I live in a small neighborhood. The kind of neighborhood where everyone knows everyone, and every house looks the same. You know, the one with the white picket fences out the front of every house. I live in a fairly nice house with my beautiful wife and 2 sons. Now this was a normal afternoon. The grumpy old man was out the front of his house watering his lawn. I waved to him, but he just keeps watering with his grumpy old face. My other neighbor, Jerry, pulls up in his driveway with his new Porsche, and my wife is making dinner in the kitchen. I sit down to a lovely meal with my family and head off to bed. But that night wasn't so normal. That night I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned. I went downstairs to get a glass of water when I hear a slight creaking noise coming from within the pantry. I hesitate for a second. I'm standing about 3 feet away from the pantry, illuminated by the one kitchen light. I slowly inch forward to see if I can make out where the sound is coming from, when I hear a deep, booming voice come from behind me. "Hello, James." I leap out of my skin and turn around to see a massive black silhouette of a man standing in the corner of the living room. I squint to see who it was, but the area of the room was so dark I couldn't make it out. The man was impossibly tall, and his shoulders hunched down as it tried to fit in the small space that is my living room. All I saw was 2 tiny reflections coming from what I assume were its eyes. "What's wrong, James? Aren't you going to say hello?" it said in a booming and ominous voice. What the are you?" I said, trembling. "It doesn't matter who I am. I've come to ask you something, James." It tracked my every movement as I walked towards the kitchen drawers. "I wouldn't do that if I were you, James," it said, mocking me. Its head bent forward, and yet still it touched the ceiling of the living room. "Take a seat," it said, pointing a large, skinny finger towards a chair. The chair slid out from under my kitchen table and met me. I took a seat facing the beast, which I will now refer to as the demon. The demon explained to me that he wasn't here to hurt me. "All I want is for you to answer my question," it said, as its bones clicked and popped as it adjusted itself into a crouch position. "You have 3 choices," it exclaimed, as I sat, listening with dread. I thought about trying to kill it, but I knew for certain I wouldn't stand a chance. This thing was not from this world. "Are you listening, James?" Yes, I am," I said, terrified. "Choice number 1. It groaned as its finger flipped up and snapped into place. "Have someone killed while you'll receive $1 million. You will never be held accountable, and it will be someone you don't know." I looked up at the demon with unblinking eyes. Somehow I knew it wasn't lying to me. It continued. "Number 2. It flicked its second finger up. "Save a random person's life, but at a cost. You must first lose one of your eyes." It slowly and loudly laughed to itself. "Or number 3. Go back to sleep and pretend we never met." It drifts its fingers back down into the darkness. I'm not going to lie. Of course I thought about taking the money. Anyone would. I also thought about saving someone. It could be, an innocent child with cancer, but I could never live with one eye. God, I really thought about it. We really do need the money, though. Bills were piling up, and my pay just isn't cutting it anymore. The money could set us up for a lifetime. I thought about my beautiful wife and how I could take her around the world, pay for my children's college outright, buy that fancy car I've always wanted. But then I realized, no, I'm not a murderer. Whether or not I commit it with my own hands, causing a murder to happen is still murder, and I knew I could never be able to live with that. So, what's your answer, James? I almost forgot about the large demon hanging in the corner of my living room. I glared at those piercing eyes. I can't do it, I said to the dark figure. It didn't answer me for a few seconds. Are you sure about that, James? It asked, as if intrigued by my answer. Yes, I'm sure, I said. Okay, James, whatever you command. It slowly shrunk into the darkness of the room until all I saw was a regular shadow of light. The demon had gone, just as fast as it had appeared. It had vanished. I slowly got back up and headed upstairs, second-guessing my choice. I lay next to my sleeping wife and stared at the ceiling, wide-eyed. A few hours later, I fell back to sleep. Beep, beep, beep. I hear the sound of my cheap alarm clock. I slowly sit up in bed, remembering last night's supernatural visit. I shake it off as a dream. Oh, it couldn't have happened. It must have just been a really weird nightmare. I turn to my wife to wake her up, but she's facing the other way. Honey, I say softly, time to wake up. I shake her. She is freezing cold. I pull her towards me. Honey! Her cold, lifeless eyes stare back at me. My beautiful wife was dead. 20 minutes later, the ambulance arrived. My sons were still sleeping, and I was standing in my pajamas, waiting out the front of my house. My next-door neighbors, Jerry and his wife, come to the fence to see what was going on. They said she just died in her sleep, I stated in a dazed tone. I can't believe it, Jerry's wife said. I don't think I ever really met your wife, did I, James? Jerry says, holding his wife close. No, I don't think you did, I said, looking up at him. Anyway, James, so sorry for your loss. Me and the wife are heading off tomorrow as we have a huge vacation planned. Oh, God, we just hope you're going to be okay. The paramedics pushed by as they zipped up the body bag and loaded my wife's body into the ambulance. In a blank state, I overhear one of the paramedics say something to the other paramedic. Jeez, wow. Same street and the same night. First the guy with the ice pick to the eye. God, and now this. Jerry and his wife walk off into his house. And I notice once again his brand new Porsche shining in the driveway.